Today we are sharing our work adapting to the smart irrigation system in combating meteorological disasters as well as managing water resources. Before we move on, this work was actually presented in a panel discussion in the Climate Networking Conference organized by GEI. So before we move on, we should get a basic idea of how climatological disasters are distinguished between extreme weather events and as well as how it has impacts in the countries based on the country's capacity. So that is why we have to understand the extreme weather events in the country and as well as understand the climatological patterns of it. So that is we are defining how natural climate variability is, as well as we need to know and understand what climate change means. Therefore, after knowing these two terms, we come up with the historical events or the basic patterns of meteorological droughts and as well as impacts of floods in the seasonal variations. If we look into the histories based on the flood events or drought events, that droughts are preoccupied in the country during the pre-monsoon and flood occurs during and after the rainy season. That is why we are representing the northern regions of Bangladesh, how the drought patterns follow in the country and as well as the affected areas. In these regions, we first of all understand from one of the station the temperature and rainfall patterns throughout this pre-monsoon and understand their relationships through data pre-processing. Based on these understandings of climate science as well as the historical events in the country, we go on understanding this knowledge to apply for developing a predictive model which I named as simple drought predictive model. Before we go to the results and technical expertise on the calculations, the basic traditional methods for irrigation in Bangladesh follows like this. So before we want to apply a smart irrigation system in the agricultural lands, we have to also acknowledge and admit what are the current irrigation systems in the country. This is a flow chart of the working methodology for developing the drought predictive model. I will not discuss the model's expertise or how these models are developed among several algorithms and chose the best one. So the specific calculations and all keeping apart, let us look at the results, which technically show that by only incorporating maximum minimum temperature and rainfall and based on their patterns and understanding, we can develop a data science based predictive model to estimate or diagnose if there is going to be a drought event in the next month of the year or not. So we keep those thresholds, and after modeling and trying out several algorithms, we come up with k nearest algorithm, and this model can show and predict the drought events can occur with more than 70% accuracy. Definitely, we also tested several time series to understand how it can fill the gaps if there is no data sets for any particular region, or it can also have spatial variability to capture by the model intrinsic features. So based on our these understandings of the machine learning algorithms, we can develop an IoT based irrigation system for the drip irrigation system, which can be controlled with the smart irrigation system for irrigating our agricultural lands. So based on how much water we need for a particular agricultural land with the agricultural product like paddy or potato, something like that, we can actually estimate the amount of water to irrigate the land based on the capacity, and also we can control remotely for managing our water resources and adapting to the drought events in these regions and all. Obviously, we also understand that how the models behave and how it could be even improved. Therefore, to understand deeper, we can go further for discussing it, and obviously may make better predictive model in the future for adapting and applying to the agricultural system. Thank you.